we're going to talk about Instapot yogurt and how easy it is to make yogurt at home with very few ingredients. So the first ingredient in yogurt is yogurt. Bit of a catch-22 that you have to have some yogurt to make yogurt. That's how it is. All you need is a couple spoonfuls, so whatever you have left from your favorite brand of unsweetened plain yogurt. And if you don't really like plain yogurt and you're planning to make yours flavored, then just get a little single serving cup of plain unsweetened yogurt. And then look at the ingredients. You want to make sure that it says live active cultures. Those are the healthy, beneficial yogurt cultures that make yogurt into yogurt. This one has S. thermodophilus, L. bulgarius, L. acidophilus, and bifidus, and L. caseatum. So sometimes they vary. Almost all of them have the L. acidophilus. So as long as you see that one and it says live cultures, then you're good to go. The next thing you will need is milk. So if you want full-fat yogurt, then use full-fat milk. If you want non-fat Greek yogurt, use non-fat milk. So whatever milk you start with is what your yogurt will turn out to be for fat content. The other thing you want to look at is my adorable kitten who wants to be in the video. Hello. The other thing you want to look at when you're buying your milk is the expiration date. That is also the expiration date for your yogurt. So you want to be that crazy person at the store that looks in the back for the furthest date so that your yogurt will stay good in the fridge for a couple of weeks. You can get ultra pasteurized milk, which has a longer date, and use that too if you want. But really, I just recommend normal plain milk is totally fine. So aside from ingredients and your Instapot, of course, to make yogurt in your Instapot, you're going to need a couple of tools. And the first one is a candy thermometer. Now you can get digital thermometers if you want, they work as well. But this is really, really important. Do not skip this. This is how you make sure that your yogurt is safe for you to eat, by pasteurizing it at the first step of the process. And then also how you make sure that your yogurt will actually thicken up and become yogurt. It has to be in a certain temperature range. Check out the description box below, and then I'll continue on with the recipe and mention the exact temperatures that you need. At the end of the process, if you want Greek yogurt, which is a thicker, creamier yogurt, then you will need to strain out the solid yogurt from the whey liquid. This is a very fine mesh strainer by Allclad, and I think they refer to this as a chinois. Okay, making yogurt in your Instapot is really easy. The first thing you're going to need to do is find a recipe, either from your booklet. The quick booklet has the buttons you need to press, or the more advanced booklet, or look online. So you need the freshest milk that you can get, a little bit of yogurt, and a candy thermometer. So first things first, you want to pasteurize your milk and make sure that all your utensils and hands are as clean as possible, and that you've pulled your hair back so that you don't accidentally get a strand of hair in your milk. So we are going to use about half a gallon, depending on the size of your Instapot. You do not want to fill above the max line. And we're going to pour our milk in. And that comes right up to just below the max line. And we're going to hit our yogurt button twice until we see the word boil. And that is going to slowly heat up the milk, but not to a rolling boil, just a barely of a simmer to get it up to the correct temperature. The correct temperature is 160 to 180. So I usually shoot for like 175 on my thermometer, because I know it's going to heat up a little more just on its own before it is done. So These cost maybe $5 from your grocery store, or you can get a digital thermometer as well. You can do this pasteurizing in the microwave or on a stovetop if you want. It is just as easy, and it takes, depending on the temperature of your milk, about 10 minutes or so. When it's close to temperature, you'll notice some tiny bubbles forming at the edges and a skin forming on the top. So if you recall, a long time ago people used to make pudding on the stovetop and then a skin might form afterwards. It's totally normal. It's just this gross. So you can lift that out with a spoon or stir it back in. While your milk is coming up to the correct temperature, you'll hear some clicks of it going on and off, on and off. That's just, it's regulating itself by temperature by turning itself off for a few seconds. This is also a good time to take out your sealing ring. That's just that silicone ring that you wash in your dishwasher in between uses, but it tends to hold on to odors, and because we don't need a pressure seal, I don't use it. Right now my milk is at about 150. If you want to speed up the process and stand next to it, you can cancel and press Saute. You see less than normal or more. Press that button until it gets to less and let it heat up a little bit more for a second or two. Okay, now we're going to check the temperature of our milk. And I'm looking for between 160 and 180. And I find the yogurt function stops at about 150, so I put it on Saute to get it the rest of the way. And I see it is right now at 175. And it tends to continue warming up a little. So 175 is plenty good enough. We're going to turn it off and remove it from the heat. So I made an ice bath, which is just a glass or metal bowl with water and some ice, and we're going to put our heated milk into that. Okay, now that our milk has come down in temperature to about 110 to 115, we can remove it from its ice bath and dry it off. Now you could also transfer this to another bowl to cool, and sometimes that makes it faster, and then that way you can clean out this, because sometimes when you heat milk you get a skin of milk on the bottom, but either way is fine. So now we're going to put it back in the Instapot, and we can remove our candy thermometer. And now we're going to add in our spoonful or so of yogurt to inoculate this milk with yogurt cultures. And you can use a tablespoon or whatever happens to be left in the bottom of your yogurt container. And we're just going to stir that in. And then we're going to hit our yogurt button. And we don't want the boil, we want the timer. And so it will start counting up so you know how long it's been in there. And the time varies. It can be anywhere from 8 to 12 to 18 hours for your yogurt to form. And you'll know it's ready when either it says yogurt on the screen, and then you can check to make sure that your liquids have separated from your solid yogurt, or you can kind of give it a spoonful taste test to see. But we'll get to that in about 12 hours. So we're going to put the lid back on. I removed my sealing ring. You can leave it in or not. I find mine tends to smell like whatever I cooked last, and I don't want any odor or flavor to get into my milk. And it can be venting or sealing, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be coming up to pressure. It's just going to barely be warm to get that yogurt to stay between 110 and 115 degrees for the next 12 hours. So the yogurt button says it's done. We're going to open it up and check it out. And you should see kind of a gross sight, which is the liquid and solids separating. That's exactly what you're looking for. Now we're going to do a taste test for flavor and consistency. If you like your yogurt really tangy, you can leave it in for a little longer, but if you want it kind of mild, then take it out when it says it's done. Now we are going to strain our solids from our liquid to make Greek yogurt. And you can either line a mesh screen with paper towels or a very clean kitchen tea towel. My screen is actually fine enough that I don't need to line it, and we're just going to pour all of our yogurt in to be straining. And it's not the most appetizing looking at this point, but keep in mind that it will look perfectly normal and delicious later on. Now you want to take a clean paper towel or tea towel and place it on top, and this keeps any dust or random bits of hair that might be in your kitchen from getting into your yogurt. And I'm just going to pat this down, and this just keeps everything nice and clean while this strains out for 30 minutes up to an hour, depending on your yogurt and how thick or thin you want it. Now this liquid at the bottom, that is the whey, and you can keep that and use it like a buttermilk, and then check that the thickness is what you want, and then pour into containers and level off the top. A half gallon of milk made a good decent amount of yogurt. I got a full container and then a little extra jar.